somewhat half-decent, pretty alright job, I suppose. But I do want to make sure we get done with this in a decent amount of time as well. We do have our red Zerg player, Shanky. And you can always shank a Dwarfspider as our blue Zerg player. And ZVZ again. Hate the matchup. I hate how close it can be. The last ZVZ we casted was determined by 2 lanes, and then the loser not remembering about the creep, or the lack of creep, killing buildings that are not such as spawning pools. This drone going out though, it looks like red going for a pretty darn early pool, about a 10 pool, and blue is going for a 13 pool? Yeah. Slightly awkward timings by both players. 10 pool is kind of standard for a cheesy build. 13 pool is just kind of there. I don't know. But he will actually have a queen out in time for these lanes and has started a spine. More than enough defense to fend off against any amount of Zerglings right now. Or any amount of Zerglings that can be made at this point in the game at least. So he's going to be in a good spot. Even if this was like a sits pool, he would be in an all-right spot. So pretty safe build from our blue player. Need to stop stuttering though. And that queen will be finishing up here soon. The drone coming in, if he goes for a spine, there it goes, the spine landing on the blue player's creep, and that's something I like to do, is just sits pool with my drones, get a spine out if possible, just because I hate this matchup so much. If he doesn't lose the queen, he'd be in a very good spot. If he loses it, then he'll be pretty even, or at least as even as he can be, pulling the drones to make sure he doesn't lose it. And now he is set. He is going to pull them all. I mean, you might not have needed that many to kill just one spine, but he does finish it off. So I guess better safe than to lose it or to lose your base. So that was always good. A lot of lanes coming in. Another set. 2 more coming as well. He is just going to mass lanes. He's not even going to expand. He's not even going to get gas. He's just going to make Zerglings. Guess how many minerals he has? He has about 500. He can make a macro hatch for all I care. He should do something with those minerals. Instead, not going to do a single thing. Going to let our blue player just get further and further ahead in terms of supply, in terms of money, economy, everything. 2 spines can easily deal with that amount of lanes, especially if he keeps sending them in groups like this. He does have 8 more on the way, does have more streaming across the map, as well as more drones by the look of it, or at least 1 more drone. He will try to make another spine. He's just going to keep going for the same play over and over again, but he has 2 queens on the way. How does he have 2 queens? He has a hidden base. Okay, so pro plays from Mr. Dwarfspider over here. I didn't even catch that, and them had to have been there for quite some time to have it spawn and have the queen almost done as well. Only seeing that by the fact that 2 queens were making at the same time. So, yeah. We do have that. Drones being made for red finally getting his gas, but he is just so low on harvesters. He is down by 11 at 6 minutes and 6.5 minutes in the game. A terrible spot to be. He knows he can't break blue's base just because there are 2 spines here. You're going to throw down some evo chambers for that walling off, or something close to walling off, as close as you can for Zerg. And that will make those queens that much more effective, as well as those spines not being able to be surrounded as easily. So blue is in a very nice spot, especially if this isn't scouted at all. Throwing down a macro hatch over here as well, very nice spot to be. It's kind of risky. If the lanes did find this, then he would be in a very bad spot. Would like to see some spines over here at some point soon, just to be safe, because I am usually a safer player rather than just going all out. Usually, not every time. But we do have a total of 18 lanes here. 2 more coming across the way. And 20 lanes can't break this. 30 lanes could possibly, but 20 is not going to be the magic number here. And even if he did, he would have such a small amount left over to kill drones and such, that the drones would be able to kill any remaining Zerglings. Dude does have a Baneling nest on the way though, and that Baneling's very effective against anything that he has over here. Yeah, it takes a few to kill a queen, but if he just gets around, I mean, if there is a chance that he can move a queen over here and wall off this part, and then the Banelings just have to walk around over here after taking hits from whatever over here, after taking hits from the queen, after taking hits from this spine, it would be very low, and maybe pretty nice thing for Dwarfspider. But I mean, the longer this goes on, the better the game is for Mr. Dwarfspider. He is ahead by 20 supply now, and that is because he has 17, right? Yeah, I can count. 17 drone advantage, as well as the advantage in normal Zerglings, I believe. No. Just drone. Oh, okay, queens. That's the rest of his advantage. Is all in queens, and queens are very nice units, but not having a very high damage output. And this Overlord does see what's coming. He does know exactly what's going to be on his way. Why? Oh, okay. Missile attacks and that armor coming for those queens, and I know that he likes his queens. We saw that in the last game I casted from him where he went mass queens. He needs to move these drones though. He needs to move the drones so badly. Oh god, no. Oh god, no. Oh. All of the drones have been taken out at the main except for the ones mining gas. That queen going down as well, but the spines will clean up everything else. The funny thing is though, is that even after 18 more lanes being made from our red player, that blue is still ahead by such a high supply count, and he still has the supply or the drone lead as well because red has stayed on that one base. He did make the macro hatch like I suggested, but he never got Zergling speed. He didn't do, I mean, he did do a lot of damage with that last, with the banelings here, but he could have done more if microed more efficiently. So blue still in a nice spot, still making so many queens. Definitely something that he enjoys. I don't know what he's going to transition into, though. He has the world open to him, making a lair at his main, and that just puts him further and further ahead. The ranged upgrades coming here soon will make his queens that much more effective, giving them a chance to, instead of what the Zergling has 35 health, so instead of 8-shotting them, they will, or no, 9. They will take 7 hits from a queen to kill a single Zergling, so that is very nice. Oh my god, something in my throat. But more drones being made by blue, and he knows this is coming, and there's a lot of banelings here, but there's not a lot left here at the main base, and he's trying to wall it off just a little bit more. Here come the banelings. All those Zerglings right there are going to die after 1 hit. The armor bonus from the Evo chamber will make it so that it takes 2 baneling hits to kill a Zergling, which is very nice. The transfuse going off was very nice. He was about to lose that queen. Doesn't even lose too many drones there. That was a nice hold by Dwarfspider. That transfuse saving him those minerals. And still more lanes being made by our Zerg player, our red Zerg player. More banelings being made as well. He's just going to stick on the same thing, and this is what we see in a lot of Zerg games that I cast, is that the Zerg, one of the Zergs, or the only Zerg if it's against a Terran, I believe, is just overcommitting. I mean, I'll refer back to my very first cast where the Zerg stayed on Ling Baneling 1 base for so long that the Terran player was able to go Planetary Fortress at his natural and Mass Ravens. And when I say Mass Ravens, I meant 5, but 5 Ravens after everything that went on in that match was definitely a mess. Speed finally started for red though. That will be very helpful for him to get into these cracks and crevices that he can into the mineral line of blue. Getting yet another queen here. That's his line of defense, getting 2/2 upgrades for those queens as well. I don't know why, but it seems like those upgrades are taking forever in this game. Must be because these lanes are always in blue's base, and these queens are all very, very low. No energy for a transfuse either, but instead he's just going for the spine crawler. Why are you doing that? That is a terrible idea. Transfuse going down on the spine as well. And now he just runs away. He just lost so many lanes there. This is a terrible spot to be in for red. He is down. He is about half the supply of blue. And blue has 50 drones on the map. He has 14 queens. 14 queens beats 34 Zerglings if there are transfuses, I heard. We'll need a water break after this one. But we do have a spine coming in over here as well. We do have another spawning pool being made for some reason. Did he lose this one? No. Why are you making another spawning pool? He must be afraid of losing this base because he sees this coming in. This is a lot more. He does have even more Zerglings streaming across the map. And I don't know if he'll be able to hold this one. Depends on how pro the surrounds are, how pro the transfusions are. Don't see a single one off yet. The queens with the high energy were at the front, but all the lanes have been cleared up. It cost him 3 queens and maybe a few drones that were lost in the explosions to take out that entire thing. These holds from him are just so well executed because of this wall, and this is the only spot you can get in, and he has set that up very well. A nice building placement. And usually you don't worry about building placement. I mean, your spawning pool goes bad here. You might hide a building somewhere off to the side where you won't get scanned against Terran, but you don't worry about walling yourself in like this. 3 overseers have been started at the hidden base. Another base up here as well that's also oversaturated. Definitely would like to see some gas taken and just like mass mutalist or something. Anything to use this layer tech would be nice. Instead, just finishing up that 2-2 and not going very far from there. More lanes coming in though. The banelings hitting the layer? No. Banelings might just straight up kill the layer. There it goes. So the layer is dead. And this base has finally fallen. It only took 7,000 resources to kill the main base of blue. And red calls the GG, but guess what red doesn't know about? Red doesn't know about, what, 15 queens. Queen takes hive. Okay, I just gained a lot of respect for Mr. Dwarfspider, even pulling out I think that's chess, I would assume, or something like that. Like, I mean, I play chess, but I just don't want to sound stupid if I assume that's what it was. Now I ruined that entirely, but 15 queens here does beat 2 queens very easily, especially with a 2-2 upgrades. This was his plan all along, and this is a very well-crafted plan. I am honestly in shock. I mean, this should have been scouted a long time ago in all honesty, but it wasn't. So that allows this to happen. That allows 15 queens to just kill everything, and I think Shanky might not be shanking our Dwarfspider. He might be kind of stabbing himself after losing this game. And more queens taking damage, more queens being healed. And he's just laughing. He's a bit in shock. I would be in too if I saw this happen into my base. And he's saying it's awesome. I would be first wondering where these queens come from. And he does call the checkmate. That is the GG. That is the GG after the offensive GG. 2 wrongs make a right today. He does call an awesome job here because that was a very well-crafted plan. It should have been scouted in all honesty, but just the holds here, even if this was scouted, I'm more impressed with the holds here than anything. Just his building placement and all of that, a very nice game from him. 5 hatcheries are being made, and that is GG. Does lose the main hatch. I mean, he just stayed on this early lane bane play for so long, didn't get any upgrades or tech up, and then he didn't scout this. And that was the biggest failure, of course, obviously, because so many queens were able to be made from over here. And he didn't ask what these upgrades were doing because there was no units on the field. So he just figured these things are moving. He probably didn't even realize that these were researching upgrades rather. So, a nice, very nice hold from Dwarfspider repeatedly, and definitely showing that he has a few tricks up his sleeve, so thank you for sending that replay in.